Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Dave's Podcast along with a new video. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. There are more episodes that will be going on exclusively on Patreon and Spotify. Please bear with me. As much as I would love to make sure there's as much exclusive content, I am making sure there's enough free content so you guys can actually know we exist. So, yes, we are going to talk about Epiphany by T-Pain. Be sure to check out rapper turned singer. We did talk about that album, his debut album. And then there are a few other episodes that you guys can check out too. We are trying to branch out and talk about different things over time. That is what we do here. So, again, I thank you guys so much, and let's get into it. So Epiphany is the second studio album by American singer T-Pain. It was released on June 5th, 2007 by his record label Nappy Boy Entertainment under the distribution of Akon's label Convict Music, Jive Records, and Zomba label group. Okay, so T-Pain here has an imprint that is distributed within 3 other labels. I can't say it's a bad thing, but I'm not going to say it's a full good thing either, because it's not so much he's fully getting all, if not, he may, but to an extent. Because everyone's getting paid in this distribution too, and that's the only thing as to why I'm saying he's not fully. The album marks a first for T-Pain, who launched his own record label, Nappy Boy Entertainment. Critics gave the album mixed reviews. Epiphany debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and spawned 3 singles: Buy You a Drink, Shawty Snappin', Bartender, and Church. So, yes, this was literally his first album where he was doing things independently along with distribution. And like I've told you guys in previous episodes and videos, that is very important when you are in the industry, because you do want to get your money's worth. And even when you have kids, you want them to have everything regardless. So that was a great thing to do. And like I told you guys with Megan, who has been able to do Hot Girl, I'm not sure if it's Hot Girl Records, but her imprint with her album for Megan, and even just even claiming her music as a whole. I believe she has her masters. If not, I believe she do. Yeah, I believe she do. Just, there's been people that you may think, oh, well, they're not as visual, like on the charts or doing a lot. It's because when they do release something, they get fully everything, as opposed to a label that can push them higher, or even just for the sake of just promotion on just other standpoints. But yeah, he really went number 1 and debuted at number 1. This was his first number 1, and he recorded this album in January. Well, that's not January, this is June. Okay, so recorded between 2006 to 2007, but was released June 5th, 2007. Okay, and who am I to sit here and act like I don't remember that? Because I was 13 at the time, and I remember when Buy You a Drink was just constantly on the radio, and I was like, I really love this song. And in recent times, I actually looked up the fact that Buy You a Drink actually went number 1 the week of my birthday, and the album came out literally a week and a half after my birthday. So I'm just like, oh my god, so not only do you have a number 1 song, but your album is released literally weeks after, and I'm loving this song. And yeah, like, I was just like, wait a minute, I love this song, and here he goes going number 1. It's like, yeah, because it's a good song. Like, shoot, birthday song. Okay, Yeah, the album's lead single "Buy You a Drink, Shawty Snappin'" was released on February 20th, 2007. So the song itself was released months prior. The song features guest vocals from a fellow Southern hip hop rapper, Young Jock. T-Pain provides the production on this track. The song peaked at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, making it his highest charting single as a lead artist. So this is his only number 1 where he's a lead artist. Yes. The album's second single, Bartender, was released on June 5th, 2007, same day as the album was dropped. The song features guest vocals from musician and then his label mate Akon, with T-Pain, who also produced this track. The song it peaked at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. So based on these ratings, it seems as though this album, of course, did a little bit better. Yeah, the critics felt, it really did receive mixed reviews because they just wasn't sure where his direction was. But at the same time, I mean, that's the whole point of where someone is wanting you to get into their artistry. You want to learn them. You want to learn where their journey is and why they're making such songs. Yeah. He also said that his career will last more than other past R&B artists like Case, Joe, and Tyrese, concluding with, ooh. Okay, well, wait a minute. Why would this critic say that? You know what? Because those 3 artists, Case, Joe, and Tyrese, who I will talk about as well, they stand on their own and they got hits just fine. See, this is why I be trying to tell y'all, like, there be critics that be saying stuff and I don't always agree. But yeah, Epiphany debuted at number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200, selling 171,126 copies in its first week. In its second week, the album dropped to number 5 on the chart, selling an additional 82,000 copies. So at least people were buying. Within the next week, they went to the store and was like, well, you know what, shit, we like this album, okay? In its third week, the album dropped to number 10 on the chart, selling 56,000 copies that week. So, again, it was still in the top 10 within the 3 weeks. As of September 2008, the album had sold 819,000 copies in the United States. So I'm not sure how much that has updated since then. I'm not sure if he has went platinum with this album. However, it did do well as far as for the first few weeks, and rightfully so. Like, it was such a time where, when you think of 2007, a time. So for me, and this is not to get off topic because we are talking about artistry. So for me, 2007, when you're thinking about movies and TV and music and just everything at that time, you just kind of knew things were kind of shifting a bit. There was a bit of a recession, though. We always trying to save a bit of a dollar. I don't think it's really too different now, huh? But besides the point, at the same time, it was still fun. And T-Pain was one of those artists that at that time was needed to lift a sense of where, we can have a drink or, have a get together and party a little bit. It's all right. And I think at that time, as opposed to now, people were feeling as though, we're going through things. What's this party music? Why people want to drink and party so much? And it's like, at that time, even though I was a teenager, I still was feeling the vibe of where it's just like, no, like, we need to mellow things out a little bit. There's a lot going on. But see, even in 2025, you think that, don't get me me started. But anyway, let's get into the track list. So track 1 is Tallahassee Love featuring Jay Lyric. Track 2 is Church featuring Teddy Versetti. Track 3 is Tipsy. Track 4 is Show You How featuring Teddy Payne and Teddy Pendergrassden. I think these are alter egos. I'm not sure, but it seems that way. If they're not, they're not. But if they are, they are. Track 5 is I Got It. Track 6 is Suicide. Track 7 is Bartender featuring Econ. Track 8 is Backseat Action featuring Shauna. Track 9 is Put It Down featuring Ray Lavender, Teddy Versetti, and yeah, again, there is Teddy Pendergrassden. I don't know if that's an alter ego or not. I think they might be. I don't know. Track 10 is Time Machine. Track 11 is Yo Stomach featuring Tay Dizzum. So I believe Tay Dizzum was on his first album too. Not sure. If he was, he was. Track 12, Buy You a Drink, Shotty Snappin' featuring Young Jock. Track 13, 69 featuring Jay Lyric. Track 14, Reggae Night. Track 15, Shotters featuring Cardinal Official and Cham or Cham. Track 16, Right Hand. Track 17, Sounds Bad. Now there's iTunes bonus track. Now see, iTunes was starting to peak in the sense of where there'd be bonus tracks that wouldn't be, on the CD physical release. So, if you wanted to hear more music, you had to go on the iTunes. And even on Spotify, I guess Spotify was kind of peaking in as well. But there's track 18, Calm the Fuck Down. That's how it says it. Track 19 is Let the Bass Drop. From what I can see, there's a lot going on in this track list. There's a lot that he wanted to express with different artists, and why not? It was a time where, this is June, so this is intended for people to feel good with when it comes to the weather getting warm, okay? And I don't blame him, especially if he's going number 1 on the U.S. Billboard 200 in U.S. top R&B hip hop albums. He went number 1 on both, and by the end of the year, he was still 62 with the U.S. Billboard 200 and U.S. top R&B hip hop albums. He was 21. So people were still peeking into getting this album, as opposed to even getting his first album. Okay, because it's like, well, more music. I can be able to listen to both. Why not have it in my collection? And that was the thing, and I see that they haven't really talked about it here. And yes, this album went double platinum. It did. I see that they haven't really talked about it here, but you do hear about the curse where it comes to, well, they say it's a curse that could happen when it comes to second albums. Clearly it didn't happen with him. He went number 1. But there's other people where it doesn't take their second album, their third, or their fourth. It takes a few albums for them to go number 1. Rihanna's one of them. People don't talk about it, but Rihanna's one of them. She didn't go number 1 with an album until, I believe, Talk That Talk. If it wasn't Loud, it may have been Talk That Talk or Unapologetic. One of the two. One of the three. But yes, I have talked about all of Rihanna's albums. You guys can check them out, if anything. But, like I said, it happens in some cases, but it definitely didn't happen with his. And he is a legend. He's a legend. There's among a lot of legends out here. It's not whether or not they was able to do things one way or another. I guess it's just a matter of how. And T-Pain definitely had more albums that he did come out with, which we will talk about. But if anything, I thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.